Becoming a game developer in 2025 is possibly the best time there has ever been. At the very least, that's what this 5'5", 140-pound Neanderthal thought as he left his well-paying salaried job. Gaming has been a passion of mine from as early as I can remember, and unique games like Stubbs the Zombie, Fable, and Overlord entranced me. And I've easily spent hundreds of hours in just those 3 games alone. So when opportunity came knocking and one of my closest friends offered to work with me on a game, I jumped. So 2 months down the line, I'm here to offer my perspective on what it's like to become a game developer in 2025. The gaming industry has had its ups and also its downs.
It just works. It's not, I'm not kidding.
But in 2025, gaming has never been more accessible and more popular. People are gaming on their PCs, at desks, people are gaming on sofas with their consoles, and they're even gaming on trains with their new smartphones. And with the market becoming as large as it has, there's an extremely large variation in the interest of what types of games people are willing to play. Gone are the days of walking into your game or GameStop, looking at the shelves and seeing 30 copies of this popular mainstream first-person shooter and glancing to your right and seeing another third-person action RPG. And much like we've seen with content creation on social media, the internet has allowed people of all walks of life to share their creations with the world, for better or for worse. We now have such diamonds as 5 hearts under one roof, or anime feet. Ignoring those outliers, the extreme success of games like Valheim, Among Us, and Lethal Company show a very clear trend that mainstream interest can be pushed towards independently developed video games. This trend has been very clearly visible since The GOAT came out in 2011. You might have an idea for a game that you think is goofy, it's whack, nobody's going to play it. However, there's no saying it won't find an audience, with the market being as big and varied as it currently is in 2025. So let's say I've convinced you, you're finally going to build that Yoda dress-up game you always wanted to make. Perfect. What have you got to learn? It's a lot, a shit ton. However, being a gamer does put you at a slight advantage, without even potentially knowing it. You will have already played many games in your life, and you will know exactly what drives you to play them, what you get enjoyment out of from playing them. And there's a very good chance that whatever you find enjoyable about certain games, other people will as well. Maybe you really like creating your own character, giving them a backstory and an enormously large chin. Maybe you really like playing with your friends and being able to stab them in the back and lie to them without any guilt at all. If you're going to make a game, you may as well make it one that you would enjoy yourself. Maybe you can add certain features that you feel are missing from your favourite games. Perhaps you create a narrative-driven masterpiece like the Stanley Parable or the Beginner's Guide. Maybe you'd prefer an opportunity to be creative in games like Minecraft, where you can build anything. Or maybe you want to focus on great visuals. If all else fails, at the very least, you can always add a battle pass. Chances are, however, if you're watching this video, you are looking to be making smaller indie games. So where do you start? If my time in Farming Simulator 2023 has taught me anything, it's that planning can be a bitch. So when me and the Master Banana came together, we decided the first thing we wanted to do is coherently plan. So we started to plan, taking certain things into consideration. We needed to know what features it was going to have, what the overall premise of the game was going to be, and how the game was going to look. But we also had to bear in mind certain limitations that we had, given our inexperience. We had decided that we were going to do the game in Pygame, as this was what the Master Banana was most confident with. We decided we wanted to get it done within roughly 3 months, and we'd also decided we were going to avoid 3D, as 3D modelling is scarier than monkeypox. Scarier than monkeypox. So after all of this, we had an idea for our game. We trimmed some of the fat, took away certain features, and by the end of that planning phase we had created a little refined diamond of a game in our eyes. After this, we wanted to start looking at all of the different jobs that were going to be required. We knew our game was quite dialogue heavy, and we also knew that we were going to need several graphical assets. This could have gotten very, very messy very quickly. However, luckily, the Master Banana, in his grace, knows best, as always. And so we decidedly used ClickUp. There are several ClickUp alternatives that you could use, however, given that both of us had the most experience with ClickUp, that's the one we ultimately decided to use, and as a result, the delegation began. We planned out everything, made separate categories for various different departments, as it were, left any comments that were needed to be taken into consideration when completing that job, and ultimately this meant that we could go almost the entire 3 months without talking to each other, because we hate each other. We hate each other. What this actually meant was that we were able to track jobs much better. Rather than going back and forth over Discord, losing different comments that might have been important to consider when doing jobs, everything was there on the ClickUp for us to easily access and navigate. It also helped James, the Master Banana, to know that I wasn't gooning for 6 hours every day, and that I was actually getting on and doing some of the work I had promised to do. Having all of the work needed to complete our game right there in front of me visually was also quite freeing as a new developer. I could either spend a day delving into one category, ensuring that all of the artwork for this specific department was done within one day, or if my creativity was feeling a bit more sporadic, I might be able to do some dialogue here, some art there. Regardless, it could all be tracked within ClickUp, and James would know exactly what work I had done within the day. As for the individual skill sets, your art, dialogue, animation, alongside coding, are all going to be skills that naturally you develop over time and get better at. I, for one, have never tried pixel art, however have found it quite interesting and quite fun, to be completely honest. But again, in 2025, there is no better time to start learning these skills, to start trying your hand at various different programs, as there are more free alternatives today than there ever were in years prior. You don't necessarily have to sign a subscription service to work on different areas of your game anymore. Coding is undeniably going to be a very important part of your game. This is why I left James to do it. However, in this modern age, you may as well use the tools that are available to you. Myself and James have created this game with the assistance of Claude and ChatGPT. It's important to note that AI cannot fully code a game. It needs a loving, guiding hand to be of any worth, really. We have instead used it for various different repetitive coding tasks. James has had to review any and all code that has been written by AI, but it's been quite effective at generating the foundational coding for repetitive coding tasks. Given that our game runs on a certain schedule from Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 every day, it's been quite handy to use in that sense for moving characters about and other various little bits and bobs. Given that Python is a simpler coding language, it's been much easier to get AI to support with the coding. Would we recommend using AI to support you with coding without having any knowledge of coding? No. But if you're a solo dev and you need an extra set of hands wherever you can take them, and you have a foundational understanding of coding, there's no saying it couldn't be of some benefit to you in your game. Once you've actually completed your game or are nearing completion of your game, it's time for you to market it. That should be fun, right? But again, you've got opportunities that were previously not open. Nowadays, rather than paying for a billboard or a TV spot ad, you can use social media to market your game, becoming the algorithmic dominatrix you were always meant to be. There has never been a better time to become a game developer, or to at least try. If it's a space you're already infatuated with, you might as well give it a go. There's a good chance you're better than you think. Fire Me, I Insist will be coming to itch and Steam soon. Please like, follow, subscribe. Feel free to join the Discord for more information about the game's development, release, and Banana Jam Games' will to live. I have been Beppis, and thank you for watching.